Welcome to our second quarter real estate webinar. I'm Casey Roloff, co-founder of Seabrook. This webinar is really designed for those of you who are following Seabrook, have had an interest in purchasing, kind of want to know what's the latest and greatest information out there. And so today I'm going to share as much as I can with you, all the exciting things that are happening in Seabrook and a little bit of background. So some of you may also be new to Seabrook and not really sure how this all came to be and what it's all about. So we'll start with a little background on our town. So this is showing, of course, from over the ocean, looking back at the town. We're about 80% complete with the original town of Seabrook, and we're the most exciting, I should say, the most exciting part of Seabrook is the development of these two major blocks in our town center. This is actually under construction now, and then we're going to be showing you a little sneak peek of the next block that will be started later this year. So again, if you're not familiar with the fundamentals of town building, we are not doing anything new here. We are basically just learning from the past, learning from the best places around the world, and what made those places great, and what created that magic in those, those towns, villages, cities around the world. The reality is that before the automobile was introduced, we were amazing town builders, town designers, and that's because we designed everything around the pedestrian experience. So it starts with walkability, making people feel like it's easier to walk and to bicycle than it is to actually get into your car and drive around and to do things. So once the automobile was introduced, we started designing everything around getting from point A to point B with our car. But the old towns, the best places in the world, were designed around walkability. So this is the number one fundamental of town building. And so we're just putting that, again, back into practice. Also having a lot of variety of different ways to live in Seabrook or a great old town. So from lofts above a shop or a restaurant, this is actually our stowaway wine bar, or a house, or even a small cabin. There's kind of something for everyone. We have, these magnificent large houses on the ocean front. We have penthouses. We have tiny houses. We have a little bit of everything. And that's what makes towns so beautiful, is there's all that variety in housing. Also, we design around what's called the transect. And the transect is basically putting the highest density in the center of town. So our main street would be over here. But then as you walk away from the town center, we get lighter on the land. We develop lighter on the land. There's less infrastructure, less density, and even less formality in the architecture. So if you're walking from the center of town to the edge of town, there are these transitions that take place. And that's what keeps you interested, keeps you engaged as a pedestrian as you're walking from the center out to the natural edge. And again, part of that experience. Out on the edges of town, we usually have open space or farms, and we're actually designing right now and about to start a regenerative farm, an 80-acre farm that's just east of Seabrook. And this will be supporting our local restaurants and our local grocery store, and then also people that live here in the community full time. Seabrook is also becoming a real base camp for this amazing environment that we chose to build in. We have the national park in our backyard. This is actually a shot from Colonel Bob. We have surfing, we have kayaking. This is actually Joe Creek. And then we have an amazing network of mountain biking trails and hiking trails. And so while we're building the town and all the urban creature comforts with shops and restaurants, we also have this incredible environment just right outside our door. Again, creating this really pedestrian scale experience, walking along the sidewalks, riding a bicycle, eating out in front of the restaurants or shops. This is what really creates that energy in our town center, and that's what really brings people back to Seabrook once they've experienced it. This is actually one of our Saturday markets. We'll be starting our Saturday market soon. Really, again, creates a lot of energy in the Main Street area. But keep in mind that our town center is only half complete right now. We are starting on the next two blocks to the left and to the right at the end of the street, and I'll be talking more about that later. Again, looking back the opposite direction, down our main street and Market Street, of course, our new grocery store here, and again, some great shops and restaurants that have really built the foundation for Seabrook. Of course, our latest addition we opened last year. It's not quite a year old yet, but our new grocery store, it's a 13,000 square foot grocery store, fresh foods market. They're doing an amazing job making sure our owners and guests have what they need. There's no longer a need to stop on your way out to Seabrook to grocery shop because we have a full-blown grocery store. The experience is amazing, partly because we hired an architect that designs the metropolitan markets. He's done some PCC markets. He designed this grocery store interior. And so when you're in the grocery store, again, it's a really amazing experience. Also, we added our new swimming pool last year. This is a saltwater pool. It's 85 degrees. We also have a new sauna and this beautiful hot tub here on the corner, and then our new gym. So these are two really major game changers for our new town. And hopefully, if you haven't been out here to see it, you'll get to experience that on your next visit. While Seabrook has been around for 20 years, and we're actually celebrating our 20th anniversary, less than 5% of the population in the greater Puget Sound has physically stepped foot in Seabrook. And this is what excites us the most, is that we've really just hit the tip of the iceberg as far as the number of people that have visited Seabrook. And our job and our number one focus right now is bringing more exposure to Seabrook. Now that we've hit a critical mass, we have enough shops and restaurants and amenities and outdoor activities that we're really ready to, again, reach out to a much larger audience, which we'll talk about. So the first step in that is really creating a better online presence. So we brought in a gentleman by the name of Eric Kettenberg, and he built all of the technology for Vacasa, which is the largest property management company in the world. And he is working to not only make our website a better experience, but also make it easier to book homes if you're someone that's looking to just spend the weekend out here or a week out here, and really optimizing our position online. And we're already seeing tremendous growth from his work and his team's work. So we're already seeing some really great results from the work from his team. You can see here in 2010 a number of homes that were in our rental program. For those of you who don't know, about half of our homes are used as primarily vacation homes, but then the owners are able to subsidize their income with rental income when they're not using their home. And so this shows the number of homes in the program, from 70 to 312 homes in the program. There's about 600 houses right now that are complete. So again, about a half, 50% of those are in the rental program. But you can see the jump from even 2021 and 2022, which were record years. People really weren't leaving the state. But you can just see what's happening here in 2024. We're going to have our biggest year yet, our busiest summer yet. And again, that's all due to the work that Eric is doing with his team to grow our presence online. Now, what's also exciting about Seabrook is that 88% of our guests, once they come here the first time, they come back. So they are returning. In 2023, 88% of our guests were returning guests. 12% of our guests were new. So we're really focused on growing this new part, and we're already over 35% new in bookings this year for people that have not visited Seabrook. Now, the national average for returning guests is 35%. So when you compare 88% to 35, you can see why we're really happy with that number. And it's really just showing you how hard our team is working to create this beautiful place, but also serve our owners and our guests when they're here and make sure they have a great experience. So the second initiative for us in bringing more visibility to Seabrook is partnering with one of the largest real estate brokerages in the city of Seattle or the greater Puget Sound. And we'll actually be making that announcement early in July. We've already officially partnered. And now we're just working through all the details and the press releases and the marketing releases. But this is going to expand our visibility to thousands of new brokers and agents in the state of Washington and actually in the entire Northwest. And again, we can't wait to announce this partnership. But it's going in the first 12 months alone, 6 to 12 months alone. They're planning on bringing 1,000 new agents out to Seabrook. And then, of course, if they fall in love with Seabrook, like we expect them to do, they'll be sharing that with all of their, loyal customers that they've already sold houses to. So we're really excited about this new partnership, and there's more on that later. To put Seabrook in perspective, Carmel, California, this is about 700 acres and basically an oceanfront town. Again, approximately 700 acres. Seabrook, an oceanfront town, about 700 acres. What is really unique about this is that the Carmel is about 2.5 hours away from the #1 median income in the country, and Seabrook is about 2.5 hours from the #3 median income in the country with King County. So a lot of parallels here. So we see this as really Washington's Carmel moment. We're not the only ones making the comparison to Carmel. This is Travel and Leisure. This was actually last year. And again, explaining the town you've probably never heard of. Again, we're going to be changing that here shortly. And then this was earlier this year in Forbes magazine, compared to the ocean view properties on the California and Oregon coast. This is what is known as a steal. We believe that too, again, because less than 5% of the population has physically stepped foot in Seabrook. Now, right now, a lot of people are holding off on purchases, both in the primary residence market and the second home market. But everyone that we talk to that's been in the real estate industry a long time is that once rates come down, there is going to be so much demand for new purchases. And what that's going to actually do is raise housing prices. We're going to see bidding wars again. And so most experts believe this is the time to buy if you're someone that's in a position to purchase either a primary or a secondary residence. And if you wait for rates to lower, it's only going to be more competitive, and we expect to see prices going up quickly because there is such such a low supply of housing in the Northwest and around the country. So a lot of pent-up demand that's being created right now. And again, you've got to time it that's when it's right for you, first of all. But if you're someone thinking that, oh, it's going to be better to buy when rates are going to come down, you might be surprised to see that prices will be going up, and that difference in the interest rate will mean less and less. So some people just want to know, how do people use their houses out in Seabrook? Well, I would say first and foremost, people purchase as a vacation home, usually with the thoughts of spending more time here after they retire or potentially retiring here full time. And then they also, again, can use the property as a rental property when they're not using it. Right now, we have about 15% of our residences are our residents that are actually full time. We expect to see that number double over the next 5 to 10 years with some of the new changes that are happening. Of course, the grocery store and some other things that I'll mention here in a minute. And then some people also will purchase a vacation home, and they can also build a carriage house and rent out the apartment up above the garage, or build a backyard cottage. Some owners actually will use the backyard cottage or the carriage house for themselves and then rent out the main house. So there's a lot of different ways people use their houses. And then finally, people that own houses here are also utilizing home exchange programs. So when they go on vacation, they can use their vacation home as a trade for other locations. Kind of some insider tips for rental homeowners. There are tax benefits. If it's a second home, you of course get to depreciate your home, the construction and just the house as the years go on. But also you get to write off the interest that you pay on a monthly basis, just like you are able to on your primary residence. Again, this works for a second home. A lot of people don't know that is the case. Of course, if it's a third home, you're not able to write off that interest. A lot of people are also taking advantage of the Opportunity Zone. If you don't know anything about the Opportunity Zone, the Wall Street Journal called it a 1031 exchange on steroids. So if you're familiar with a 1031 exchange, It's similar but better, and the reason it's better is that if you follow the guidelines after 10 years and you own the property for 10 years, when you go to sell it, 100% of all gains are 100% tax free. You can even sell that property in at year 15. I've even heard up until year 20, and again, all gains are 100% tax free. So actually, some of our homeowners have purchased secondary homes here using the Opportunity Zone as an investment tool. So you can look that up on the IRS website, and we also have tax attorneys that advise homeowners or I should say, home buyers that are purchasing through the Opportunity Zone. A lot of homeowners also use their houses as a way to give back to their communities. So when instead of writing a check at an auction or a school function, they actually put their houses up in as an auction item and generate a lot of income for their local cause, local school. So it's a great way to leverage your vacation home and give back to your community. And then we have also, if you look at the history of prices in Seabrook, we've had above normal appreciation. So again, the longer people hold, Seabrook has really been a place that has appreciated at a higher pace than the rest of the real estate market out there. And then again, we talked about the interest write-off on your mortgage is something that helps you with your income taxes. And it's never been more compelling to own a vacation home because of our hybrid lifestyle, people able to work from a remote location, not needing to be in the office 5 days a week. So the idea of coming out for 2 nights for a weekend is really, behind us. Most people are staying 3 and 4 nights and really able to use their vacation home much more often than they were before remote and hybrid working really took off during the pandemic. So people are more nomadic. This is also allowing people to stay longer as guests. A lot of people that are looking for places to go and actually do their work and also have a vacation at the same time. So that's also increased our occupancy, our average nightly rate. All those things have benefited from people being able to work from other places. So we actually have some summer-ready homes. There's lots of different ways to purchase in Seabrook. We have some summer-ready homes I'm going to talk about a little bit later. You can also purchase some of our beautiful resale homes in Seabrook. There's a good variety of those. And then we also have live-work units that are available for pre-sale. So most of our purchases, the house hasn't been built, and so we have some great pre-sale opportunities right now. And that also allows you to wait out the interest rate, so you could end up getting a better interest rate when the house closes. And then some people are also, like in this case, purchasing a lot and then building the backyard cottage, kind of doing it in phases. It could be a backyard cottage or a carriage house, again, garage down below, a little cottage up above. So this is a way to incrementally work your way into a permanent house and carriage house on a lot. And then, of course, some people also just will purchase the lot, and depending on the neighborhood, will depend on how quickly you have to build. But right now in the Fernwood neighborhood, if you purchased a lot, you've got at least 3 years to build your main house. We're also focusing on more multi-generational living, more people thinking about living out here full time. So designing houses that actually have an attached apartment to the house that will allow a parent or a child that's just got out of college, not a child, but an adult that's just got out of college and needs a place to live for a little while, or it could be rented out to even someone that lives and works locally in Seabrook. So having more optionality on your individual lot is really important. It's something that's being pushed around the country for more places to live. And so multi-generational housing is something that we're, again, focusing on a lot of our design work. But it's the next 5 years that we're the most excited about in regards to Seabrook. We're really about to blossom into what we think will be one of the most beautiful towns on the West Coast when our final 2 blocks are complete. So this shows the existing shops and restaurants. You can see these dark blue This is Coco's on the corner. This is our sales office and hospitality office. These are all shops and restaurants. Of course, the grocery store now is complete. The bakery, they just did an expansion. Frontages just did an expansion. But the light blue areas here are what we're focusing on to have completed in the next 3 to 4 years. So Pacific Landing is well underway now, and then we're about to break ground on the northwest block. And we also have some great townhouses in the town center I'll be showing you. Um, Also, there's a $30 million fund to build a brand new elementary school. I'm also hearing rumors that it could be a elementary school and a middle school, that the funding might cover both of those things. And so again, a lot of young families are really scratching their heads saying, wow, we could actually live out here full time, raise our kids out here, work remotely. If they need to go into town, they can take our shuttle into the city a couple days a week. But a lot of people are looking for a higher quality of life, a place where their kids can not just play in the woods, but also have the independence of riding their bike on safe streets, walking into town, having, again, more independence. I grew up in a suburban neighborhood. Anything I wanted to do, I would have to ask my parents, hey, can you drive me here? Can you drive me there? My wife, Laura, was able to live in a neighborhood where she could walk and bicycle all around her neighborhood. And that's something that we really wanted for our kids, which is why we decided to build this down. Also, we have a new medical center that's in for building permit, and that should be completed by next year, and that's funded. So again, this is going to make it a lot easier for us to live out here full time, permanently. And we're also expanding our trail system. So from hiking trails and mountain biking trails, right now we have about 25 miles in pathways and hiking trails and mountain bike trails. Our goal is to double that in the next 3 to 5 years. We have a full-time trail crew. Actually, he's one of the top trail designers and builders from Evergreen Mountain Bike Alliance. So if you're a mountain biker or you know people who mountain bike, these guys are really some of the best in the state in designing and building trails so that they're actually able to use them year round. The way that they put in the drainage and how they build the trails themselves, they make them all purpose and year round trails. This is looking at Pacific Landing. This is the sales office. Again, if you've been here, you know where that is. You can see the shops and restaurants that are going down the hill out to the ocean. Again, this is all under construction right now, and I'll show you an image shortly. Again, this is our sales office and our check-in lobby for hospitality, and with the new shops and then the restaurant here on the corner. There's actually 6 townhouses that face the ocean here. 4 of these are sold and 2 of them are available, but they have straight shot views looking at the ocean that will never be blocked, and they're very, very desirable, and we're excited to show you those if you come out. This is just showing the progress. Some of these are actually getting finished right now. So again, there's 4 here and then 2 more here. This particular unit is a condo and actually has an elevator, a private elevator for the unit itself. And then you can see these new shops with residences up above marching up the street. And then just across the street from Pacific Landing, we have 4 new row houses, the Selwood row houses. What makes these really cool is that all of these balconies have these angled views looking down to the ocean that are unobstructed. So they won't be obstructed in any way in the future. So if you're looking to be in town, you want to have that urban kind of experience where everything is just right out your doorstep, but you also want to have a view and watch the sunsets. These 4 row houses are really great. One of these is sold. I believe we have another contract coming in on the second one. We don't expect these to last very long. This is showing just some of the progress of the 4 new row houses. You really need to come out here and walk it to see that view looking down to Elk Creek and out to the beach and the ocean. You actually see the sandy beach from the front porch and the balconies. But you've got to kind of see the view in person to understand it. So if you come out, definitely take a look with one of our agents. This is just showing the location that they're being built. This is the lobby. Pacific Landing is here, and you can see Northwest block. That's our largest block in Seabrook. That'll have the most shops and restaurants and residences in the town center. And again, this these 4 row houses have these views looking out to the ocean, down to the southwest. Now, this is the first we've shared this, but this is a sneak peek of the Northwest block. The colors are not selected, the siding materials aren't selected, but this is just giving you an idea of what the other block will look like across from Pacific Landing. We're getting very close on finishing these drawings. So if you've been to Seabrook, you know Stowaway Wine Bar is right here. This is Market Street, and these are 4 more new shops and another new restaurant that will look straight out at the ocean. So we'll have 2 oceanfront viewing restaurants at the entrance to our main street. So super exciting. These are actually 3 flat penthouse units, and they're 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath. There's no pricing on this. These are probably at least a year and a half away from being released. And we expect with Pacific Landing getting completed, the prices will only be going up from where we are at Pacific Landing right now. And then this is looking from the other corner. This is the Stowaway Wine Bar on the right-hand side. And then again, the shops marching down the hill, the residences up above the retail. And then now getting into Fernwood, you can see all the sold properties. Fernwood is growing very quickly, and we're building this out. You can see some of available homes. These are actually summer-ready homes. So if you're someone that can't wait and want to get in and enjoy it and use it this summer, you can actually move into the house. You have to put 15% non-refundable as a non-refundable deposit, and then you're able to use the house this summer, and you don't have to close until September 15th. It's possible interest rates could come down a little bit between now and then. Nobody knows, but it allows you to use the house as a vacation home this summer, and also you can rent it out this summer through our program when it's not being used, but you actually don't have to close on the house until the end of the summer. So this is actually a really great opportunity for somebody that wants to use it now, get in, and start to enjoy Seabrook. If you don't know about Fernwood, we have a cafe that's being designed and a bike shop here on the corner, Base Camp. They're really expanding our whole bike program and outdoor activities program. We're also talking about a yoga studio and a spin studio in these spaces. So this will be the little hub for the Fernwood neighborhood. We've got a 160-acre mountain bike park to the east here. So this is basically the entrance to that mountain bike park. Here's a couple of the houses that are available for summer. And then we also have Fernwood Station, our newest neighborhood. This is right behind where the cafe and base camp is going, and a little park that will have cornhole and bocce ball and some great outdoor activities, fire pits. But the houses start at $469,000 for a 1-bedroom. So if you're someone that just wants to get your foot in the door on Seabrook, these are a great way to get your foot in the door. So I appreciate your time and your interest in learning more about Seabrook. We want to thank you and hope to see you out here in this summer and in the near future. You can scan this QR code and schedule a time to meet with one of our agents if you're ready to do that. And they'll be happy to share all the details of all the properties that I shared with you today. And again, have a great day, and we hope to see you at the beach soon. Thank you so much.